it's a very healthy rental market, but it's also very expensive. So that's my first creative deal. It kind of like opened my mind. Hey, this is doable. And you're taking over the loan.
Yeah.
You get a really low entry in. I get to help a homeowner, and I turn it around, help more people find affordable housing.
Yeah, that's amazing.
And I was like you said, like, man, damn, I spent a huge amount of money just getting one asset, while I could have split that into 4 or 5 different assets. You know,
but that's okay.
It makes sense.
That's okay.
As long as it's cash flowing, I don't really have that much risk, right?
Yeah.
So that allow me to scale faster, because I will hate to get into a situation that I can start sensing that he's being forced to make this decision, you know, not at his liberty to sell. So I kind of have a chat with him to make sure that he's actually understood his situation, understood all the pros and cons, and to decide to move forward with it.
So you're a good person. You're an angel. Shinyi Telscher, nice to meet you.
Hi,
we met yesterday.
Yes.
And now we're here. No,
in the hallway.
Go to a little bit of front.
Right there.
Okay.
Hallway.
Yeah. Thanks to Marisela for connect us. We was talking about your real estate journey before we arrived here. But before that, I want to know what get you there. So you are a pharmacist.
Correct.
Right?
I'm still doing my pharmacist job. Yes.
So where you from?
I was born and raised in Taiwan.
In Taiwan? Beautiful Taiwan.
Yeah, and I came to the United States.
When?
2005.
Okay.
It's about 20 years ago, yes.
Okay.
Came here as an international student on a student visa. At the time, I was going through my graduate study, learning my master, and my goal was to become a doctor here.
So that was the main goal?
Yes.
So because your family influenced you to that, or that was your goal?
That was my goal. I was always being considered as the kind of like the art person. Like, you know, I realized I have a big dream. Going through the school, you know, I wanted to do something more. So at the time, I was just a pharmacy student, finishing up my last year pharmacy school. At the time, my boss, my mentor back then, she was director of the department time. And she was very smart. She's always on the round with the doctor and, you know, being the most forefront knowledge person. And she got her doctorate degree, and she was trained in the United States and came home and served our country. So that's when I learned most of my knowledge. Then at the time I look at her and say, oh, that's my idol. I could see myself kind of going in that route to learn, you know, in a foreign country and earn more clinical knowledge.
So when you said you are like different in your family, so nobody in your family was a pharmacist?
No, I'm the only person, I would say, like the book smart person. Like when you look at your family member, I consider I'm a book smart person. I always achieve really well academically. And my brother, my younger brother, on the other hand, he's a very sales savvy person. He's great at sales. He's more like a street smart kid.
Okay.
So we have a different journey, and I've always been a person who excelled in school, aced all the exam, ranked everything.
School was easy and boring for you.
Yes. Yeah.
Right.
So then I'm like, well, I'm pretty good at school and I aced all the exam, but what's out there? You know, what's the next step?
So, you know, when you're a smart person and with the grades, people don't know that, but I was the same in one part of my life before I changed. But when we are smart in a way that in the grades, we live in a bubble. So we're smart, but we're smart with that.
Right.
So
and they kind of limited you. They have this framework.
Exactly.
You follow this rule and you read all the things that you're supposed to read, and you follow this formulation and you aced it. It's a very straightforward.
Yeah. And then I feel it's not challenging. It's not challenging in a way like survival outside that world. Mm-hmm. That's what I feel. And it's like that. Because it's a scam, you know, education right now is a scam anyway. So when you decide that outside that world, academic world, there are another life, another levels, another success, another level of success, another journey. When do you define that moment in your life?
I think it was when I started getting my job, you know, when you're out of pharmacy school, you follow this trajectory, right? I was born in an Asian family. It's a very Asian parents always say, "Hey, go get a diploma, go get a great degree.
Yeah,
Now
yeah, I
get your
understand.
get your
You're secure.
job.
Do you're
You're
secure life.
secure the
Okay.
rest of your life. They're gonna pay you this much. You can
Yeah,
tell
yeah,
you
yeah.
how long you can pay back your student loan. You'll be all set the rest of your life."
Retire at 60.
Exactly.
Travel the world.
Yeah, you don't have to dream too big. You just,
Yeah.
your future is secure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I got out of school, and at the time, unfortunately, I was on a student visa. So in the United States, in order for you to work legally, you have to have work visa,
Okay.
right? So at the time, I was able to get a student intern and apply for job. And then in the end of my student visa time, when it expired, before it expired, I realized, you know what, I can't compete with a lot of, even though I know what I need to know to do a good job, I can't compete with other people who were residents here, because for me, for them to be able to hire me, they need to apply green card for me.
So the dream of being a doctor, it was away.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what, I'm gonna go back to my home country and just start, just like when I met my, mentor. When she came back, she became the director in the department, and then, still great life for me. But something happened during my last year of my school. That's when I met my current husband, and it was a really interesting. Like in my last year of pharmacy school, I decided to go out on hiking stuff, doing a lot of adventures, hiking, long distance hiking, like climb big mountains, stuff like that.
Where
'Cause-
Utah, California,
Well, I was in Maryland.
and Maryland.
Yeah, so I climb a lot of big mountain on the east side of east side of the United States. Some part of me is thinking, you know what, I want to do something exciting. I want to conquer something bigger. So that's when I kind of, during my last year of pharmacy school, while I'm still a student, I signed on, trained myself to become a wilderness, like first responder. I went out and started leading people go on a hike, like long distance hike. That's when I met my husband during my last year of my pharmacy school. But long story short, then it became like, we dated each other for 2 years, and then I went back to Taiwan, and then he came to Taiwan and proposed to me. That's when I decided to come back to the United States to build out a family with him here in the United States. And then I was able to got my green card. And then as soon as I got it, I got my job offer right away.
Right away.
Yeah. So then that was my first year of pharmacy school. And then once you start working, you realize, do I want to just work the rest of my life? Just like my other colleague.
So you was looking challenge.
Yes. I've always wanted to look for challenges. I always look for what's next for me. That's exciting, that I can apply my knowledge and my experience.
So it was the hiking that changed your mentality?
Yes.
I love hiking.
Yeah?
I do hiking in California, Utah, and those 4, 5, 6 hour trail.
Right.
You think a lot because you don't have like your
Yes.
phone.
You're on this trail by yourself. It's almost like you're in this self-private personal discovery.
Exactly.
There's nobody else on
Exactly.
this huge field except for you.
Exactly.
You're blazing your own
With the
your own
nature,
trail.
with the nature, and it's beautiful. It's
Correct.
like you are connected with Earth. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
I always go hiking once or twice a year.
Right. So you must have known, because you're in California, right? So you must have known the John Muir Trail, the one that started from Yosemite, Happy Valley, all the way up to Mount Whitney.
Yeah, I don't do that, but
Yeah.
yes, I do Glacier Point.
Okay.
Horrible. It's very big. But anyway, that's what you think that connect with
Yeah.
your desire of challenge.
Right. Yeah.
Wow.
I decided I wanted to build something because I've noticed that there's two type of people, right? The people, they're smart, they work the rest of their life, and then they have great job, and that's all. And I look around like, I want more. I want something I can build upon and get big and scale bigger and pass on to the generation for my kids. And then I think a lot of people, once they have kids, they realize that,
Yeah,
what's
me
how can I do to generate generational wealth?
So when you was hiking, you don't have the kids yet.
No. Yeah.
Okay. So it come in that moment, the idea, but not the action, right?
Right. Yeah.
And then come the kids, and then come the action. That's
Right.
what you're saying to me?
Yeah. So I always enjoyed challenges, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah.
once I got the job, I have stable income rolling in.
Yeah.
Me and my husband, we just got married, and then we were start saving, just like the most of the
Yeah.
regular, young couple. They try to save and put on down payment, get their first house. Then the kids came in the way, and you start realizing that I want to spend more time with the kids, but
You have two?
I have 2 boys. Yeah, they're 4
Amazing.
and 6 right now. So that's when we decide, what we need to generate additional cash, not just our regular W-2, because we're going to be the person's always get slashed with huge tax bill just because that's only our income source.
And also the person who spend less time with your kid.
Correct.
Because you're working until
working
5.
all the time, yeah. On shift, on call. Yeah.
So that's reality.
Right.
And then, okay, that's the mindset, the pivoting time.
Right.
So how do you come from there to, I don't know, Owners Club or Pace, or before you pull the trigger? You pull the trigger in the mentorship before you buy the rental property, or you pull the trigger before the program?
Well, I started buying traditionally. Our first rental was when when we just kind of save and put down the down payment, like normal
conventional
way. You put down 20-25%, you get a traditional loan. That's our first rental property. It's a 4-plex, and at the time I was so obsessed with getting a rental property, I actually went and study over the weekend and got the real estate license, and just so I can see what's being posted on MLS as soon as
okay. So you do this risking yourself without don't know nothing. So you was learning YouTube books, podcasts, no mentorship.
No mentorship. At the time, everything was just kind of a free resource, because at the time, Bigger Pocket is the name of the market. So I signed up Bigger Pocket and started reading, watching some YouTube. And I remember my very first investment book. It was written by Brendan Turner, who was the big name, Bigger Pocket, before he went and opened his own investment group. So I learned a lot through that book, and it's like, you know what, I can do this. I can just buy a rental property and just become a landlord on the side, and that will bring extra cash to fund our investment. And I can use the rent cash flow to refi a couple more years and just kind of rinse and repeat.
So when these 4-plex don't need like work, like fix.
No, it
was ready.
It was moving ready.
It was moving ready,
but not in a bad shape.
Which state we're talking about?
It's in Maryland.
It's in Maryland too.
It's in Maryland.
Maryland is in the side of Washington D.C., right?
Yeah, the outskirts of D.C. So it's
Maryland, Virginia, that area, right? That's beautiful. That area.
Yeah, it's a very strong appreciating market, because their job market is very strong, that support the rent growth.
Yeah, a lot of government jobs around there.
A lot of government job. Yeah.
So that was your first. That was risky because you don't have any mentor with you.
Right.
When do you decide to continue to grow? Like, I need to go to the next level.
Right. After that, the kids came the way. Like we started kind of park our money somewhere and always on somebody else's deal. Meaning, like, invest passively to other people's syndication, like getting to bigger commercial deal. But you're just kind of park your money in there. You're kind of hands off, right? So, and I then realized, I don't want to always sit in the back seat.
What year was that when you buy?
My first rental was 2019, and then
so
from 2020.
What about the COVID?
During COVID, yeah. So during COVID, I have like invested into like passive investment. Like I now still own a resort in Colorado. That was more like out of state investment. You just basically go to see what deal makes sense. You put your money in.
You put out like a percent.
Yeah, like
a bigger project
partner. Yeah,
okay.
Yeah, people. There's always syndication deal going on. They're looking for fun, right? So we're just like, well, we have kids. Like, we can't go and do swing the hammer and stuff like that. So we
just send the check.
Yeah, we send a check, and then how to read the profit loss, and then see if they perform, and you kind of park your money somewhere.
Okay.
But then after a year or two, and then kids start kind of growing out of that more demanding phase, and then I'm back to like, what's next for me? Now they can kind of self-sufficient. I wanted to go back into buying more and be more in control.
Okay.
Right. So that's how it kind of, I went back in full circle. Like, what can I do to buy next to do that again? So now I'm down the real estate part. Like, what's the next challenge, and I can try to embark on.
So your first thinking was real estate agent. So the license.
Right.
That's what your first thinking.
Right.
But you don't do it.
Well, I did. I'm still licensed agent in Maryland.
So you do it.
Yeah.
You pull the trigger
Yeah,
on the
it
license.
was not hard to get a real estate license
yeah.
agents. And then I realized that, I call around. This is the funniest thing. Like when you have an investor mindset, you're trying to buy investment property, right? Most of the agents that are on the market, they don't know how to. Well, they know how to serve the investor, but I'm a very conservative investor. So a lot they're deal, but they're not that many deals that fit my buy box. I look a lot of deal, but buy a few that produce a great performer. So a lot of a lot of real estate agent I talk to, they don't quite understand that. They will keep feeding me property that just doesn't fit my buy box, even though I tell them I need to meet these kind of cash flows, right? So I got to the point, it's like, you know what, I'm just gonna do it myself.
So you go.
I want the access.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, I want the access of the MLS that you get to see.
You cut the middleman.
Yeah,
right?
I don't want people to kind of wait a few days and tell me, oh, somebody posted a nice deal. As soon as hit it, I want to be able to see it.
Yeah, I'm like that too. And so the next investment that you made was a multifamily too?
Yeah, it was just a syndication deal. I was just passively investing into that.
Okay, that's it. That's syndication.
Yeah.
So no more fourplex.
Yeah, I still own that full plus. It's generating great, healthy cash flow for me. I would never sell that. Property probably going to pass down to my generation, just that pay for my kids' college tuition, you know, private school and all that stuff. So I'm going to hold on to that.
And then you do sub top first or owner's club first? What you do first?
I did sub 2 first. So,
then when that come to your life?
Right. So I once I got out the stage of kids are little, they outgrow a little bit. I wanted to go back to buying more real estate, and then my next goal I set for myself was like, I want to get into a bigger asset, and looking at a bigger deal. A lot of time when you try to fund like 20-25% of cash in there, it's gonna take a while.
Yeah, it's like 200-300,000.
Correct. Yeah,
the down payment.
Instead of waiting 4 or 5 years to get to that, and then by the time the asset might become more expensive, that it won't
or sell,
afford again. You miss the boat basically. So then I talked to myself. There must be something that I need to learn more, because there's obviously
too many people.
Business, still going on. There's a game that people know how to play. I don't know how to play it, and I want to know how to play that game.
Oh my goodness. greedy. That's good.
It's knowledge is power, and I've always wanted to learn more on seller financing, because I think that's an art, like how to negotiate a term that works in favor for both parties. That's going to be mutually beneficial. And I get that part. Like a lot of time, it's not about the price; it's about the terms you can negotiate. So, and then, I've been watching a lot of YouTube video, and that's when Pace Moby start popping out in the, feeds like, hey, seller financing, buy a house and no money down.
And the way he's playing is like he can play very simple.
Right.
Very humble.
Yeah, very, very easy to understand. Yeah. And I look at him and was like, wait a minute, is it like
is this like, real?
Real is just scamming me, or like it sounds sketchy. Like what the heck is going on? Especially,
and you are a real estate agent.
Yeah, so I'm like,
you,
we always like, very big on like contract. You can only use a state approved contract. You need to do all disclosure. All that. So you basically buy the house in a cookie cutter way. Like when you try to buy the first. Regular home buyer, like, very simple. You get your loan, you get either approved or not, and you sign a contract and move on. Like it's a very cookie cutter process. Yeah. But he's teaching you a completely different process.
And then you like, boom.
Yeah. So I'm like, I want to learn that way to see if he's a scammer.
So you enroll.
Right. So
it was easy to close for you.
I enroll and I start kind of learn, right, the process. It's
what year was this?
It was 2020, early 2023.
So he was starting.
Yeah.
So the movement was,
he's already like pretty big. Like he was approaching like around 10,000 members.
In that moment?
Almost hitting that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's when I joined.
And then you consume all the videos or the lives?
Well, I consume some, like...
Because it's overwhelming.
Yeah, it's overwhelming. Videos. Yeah, the first 6 months, kind of just jump on all the Zoom and say, wait a minute, I don't know what
Yeah,
the heck they're talking about.
yeah, the brain is
Right. They're
burning.
using a lot of acronym. I don't know what that is.
The language, the language.
Right. And then I
So it was
start.
not only me.
No, that's for everybody.
A lot of terms that, what is that?
Yeah,
And
what
for
is-
me,
right. What is rap?
and
What
for
is-
me, because English is, in my second language,
Same here.
it's like, I don't hear that before. Like, I learned the other day, squatter. What is a squatter? No, people that live inside the house and,
Yeah. They just move in.
Yeah. Some
say it's
words.
theirs.
Yeah, some words that I learned in this industry that are new to me.
Right.
So did that happen to you too?
Yeah. And so like when you talk about like sub 2 hybrid and then
Wholesale.
like I get the concept of wholesale, but the concept like buying sub 2 was a brand new concept to me. But once you grasp that, like, wait a second. Yeah.
Makes sense.
That makes sense. And then, like he said, like you don't, it's almost like I love how he used the analogy of like buying cell phone. You basically talk to this person, hey, I like your cell phone, your iPhone, like I want to get it. And since you already have a contract, you're paying, AT&T or Verizon every month anyway. So why don't I just take over your bill, pay that, and then I get your phone?
Yeah.
Right.
It's like in Puerto Rico, we sell the note of the car.
Right.
So I don't know here if they do the same, but it's like the same.
Right.
But when he say no money down, is when you get upset. Because you already put a 25 down payment, a conventional loan, and he say, no, I don't use my own money to do the down payment. It's like, what? Rewind.
Yeah.
So when you get that point, what happened to you?
And I was like you said, like, man, damn, I spent a huge amount of money just getting one asset while I could have split that into 4 or 5 different assets.
But that's okay.
It makes sense.
That's okay.
As long as it's cash flowing, I don't really have that much risk, right?
Yeah.
So that allow me to scale faster. Yeah, so I was mad, damn it.
Yeah, in that moment, it's like, bam.
Yeah. So that's the game I was talking about. Like people knew how to play and, I never knew. So the only thing they taught you is just get a traditional loan, put down 20-25% and that's it. Yeah.
And that's the old mindset, respectfully. And when you got to the owners club, so when do you decide to get to another level of ownership? What do you want to, what is your business? What is your idea? What is your new dream right now?
Yeah, my new dream is to continue to scale, right? I am now looking at bigger asset to buy. I like when people are saying that a lot of time you pay entry fee, not because because the price, the entry fees kind of serve as a filter to filter out people are not ready to make a commitment to cross the line and get into that room. So that I'm a very frugal person, you know. So when asking us to put a large fee to get into a more exclusive investment club that's a lot of money, Yeah. But then throughout this journey of like being in his club, I then understand like, it's worth the price to get into a bigger room so you can meet the right people.
Yes.
So now I get to be in the room to talk to the people who are more or less in the similar level at where we are and also looking at the similar goal.
Yeah.
So we get to keep each other accountable. We get to support each other. We're even like get on the weekly accountability Zoom so we can kind of underwrite together in bigger asset. Sending out letter of intent to purchase LOI, to try to get onto the bigger deal together.
So when you learn all these new methods of buying property, do you decide to do any other things like wholesale of lend money or try a new way to make more money just for tryout? You try it? Or you just want to rental income and that's it?
So I would say, like Pei said, I have a Mount Everest, but I also have Small Valley that I'm trying to, do it. I still need sometimes quick infuse of cash to kind of save my own piggy bank to get into bigger deals. So I will still do some deal locally, buying pre-foreclosure to help a homeowner sometimes get them out of the sticky situation.
You already do it?
Yeah. My first creative deal was actually a pre-foreclosure deal that, I was helping a veteran who who were in pre-foreclosure, and he was filing bankruptcy, and then just wouldn't work out because he then realized that he just can't continue to pay the payment anymore. He will either have to sell and downsize, or he will have to lose his house.
So you bought the house, the single. What you do with that? You put it in rental or you sell it?
So that was a straight substitute deal. I took over his VA loan and then turned that into a co-living house to house people by rent by room. I work with the
Pass split?
Not Pat Split. I work with nonprofit agency in that
Sorry,
area.
Pass split.
Yeah. They charge a lot.
So you had your first co-living.
Yeah.
So that was the new method.
Yeah, that's a new method. So now I learned that, and I realized, that's a really good strategy that I get to
have more doors in the same place.
Offer a specialty product, like help solve the affordability issue. Because a lot of time in the very expensive market like California, Maryland, we're a very strong appreciating market. The rent has become really expensive.
So this one is Maryland?
This is in Virginia, like Virginia Beach.
Yeah. So it's very close.
Yeah, very close. And then it has a military town. Like, it's a very healthy rental market, but it's also very expensive. So
you still have it?
I still have it.
Yeah, amazing.
Yeah. So that's my first creative deal. It kind of like opened my mind. Say, hey, this is doable. And it's a pre-foreclosure that is just basically put all the puzzles together. You're taking over the loan. You get a really low entry in. I get to help a homeowner, and I turn it around, help more people find affordable housing.
Yeah, that's amazing. And we was talking today about that in the in the summit. So any bumps in the road in your journey, like something that slapped you in the face or in the wrist for not listen to somebody, or everything you do are extremely thinking and then you take action and be safe?
I think I'm still trying to walk the balance of like taking actions versus like being safe. That's always been my Achilles heel. Like, I'm a very risk averse investor, so it took me a while to warm up to take action, because I will find a million reasons to say why this is not a good deal. And
so you're not
to walk away from
you're
it.
not risky.
Yeah, I'm not a risky investor.
Okay. So for pull out trigger, how many months to take you?
It took me like a year to learn the knowledge, to feel like, okay, I got it all. Like, compared to other people who might already went out and get under contract 10 houses and then they move on.
You know Pedro Cardona is in Owner Club. You know him?
Who?
Pedro Cardona from Puerto Rico.
Pedro, yeah, I love him.
So he tell me how to buy houses. Boom, 3 weeks later I buy a house. So I'm crazy.
Of that.
Yeah, I'm crazy. But
everybody has a different buy box. And,
I know.
You choose the risk tolerance that you can, allow yourself to.
But in terms of subject to, that's different, because that one was cash. That was easy. But in terms of subject or foreclosure, you need to analyze, or how you say in English, analyze things.
Analyzing to
see the paperwork,
paperwork,
see the house title is not have lion or
lien,
go to the house to check everything is good. So it's like more concerned by.
Correct. And you need to build out more cushion, because buying distressed property, a lot of foreclosure houses, they're distressed property.
Yes.
There's always going to be some surprises. And, and you want to hear the surprise when we bought that house?
Exactly. So I go to one that he told me I was ready to save him. And he tell me the numbers. We send him the contract. And then I go to find the paperwork, and I see the house. The house have a hole in one room. He tell me the payment was like $1,700, and the bill, he says like he paid $2,300. So it was everything opposite to what we talk about. So he was ready to take the money, lying. In that moment, I said, I'm gonna wait more for the foreclosure, because this is like scary business for me. It's good, but it's scary.
It's take another level, like higher level thinking and problem solving.
Yes,
to get the deal done. And there are a lot of people out there doing pre-foreclosure, and what I would say in a more unethical way, they will force the seller to sell, kind of prey on them. I always try to be very fair, and then I always tell them, like, hey, this is I can't force you to sell it to me.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
got to
yeah.
make that decision, right? In the
Yeah.
end, we're gonna try to work out a situation that you don't lose all the equity that you earn throughout the year to the bank. Because once they auction your house off, it's basically game over. Yeah, those are equity you are gone, right? What can we do to turn your house into something that you can also walk away with some money and then
Yeah.
move on with a new journey and all that stuff.
So you have a few conversations to talk like that. You have a few conversations
Right.
with people. So
right, I
so
call
how many
them.
how many no's you have?
Well, you're talking about the conversation.
The foreclosure.
Yeah.
Because people are very strong with the no's in the foreclosure. How many no's you have when you call that you remember?
Yeah. So it was brought to me by a wholesaler, but I did get on a phone call to make sure that this is the right buyer I want to purchase from, because I will hate to get into a situation that I can start sensing that he's being forced to make this decision, not at his liberty to sell. So I kind of have a chat with him to make sure that he's actually understood his situation, understood all the pros and cons, and to decide to move forward with it.
So you're a good person. You're an angel. Yeah. But the thing is, I'm trying to find and I don't find any. I need to dig more. Like,
you got to ask about their why, and then you got to go talk to them face to face, right? Like, I still door knock, like sometimes over the weekend, just to kind of go.
Knock door.
Yeah, I go door knock people like in my specific neighborhood that I wanted to buy, and I will sometimes go talk to them and just say, hey, like, I know you're in the situation, like, has anybody explained to you all the option available, like, all those that they should know so that they can be informed what are the options out there. I'll print out some brochure coming from state of Maryland that they can call, some legal help that's completely free. They can call those and get those. Basically, I told them, hey, listen, I'm not here to buy your house. Like, I wanted to explain to you, like, these are the options available for you.
So you're a very good learner, a good apply of the action. So I'm trying to look in you any bump, like any struggle, or at least tell me something like get you out of your comfort zone in this industry, because real estate, you see a lot of winners, but this is the long game.
Correct.
So this is the long game and it's not easy. So I need to know anything that happened to you that
like a big loss.
Maybe a loss, or maybe a contractor, or maybe a foreclosure, something like hit you that you cannot sleep that day because make you like thinking.
Not to that extreme yet. I'm lucky to say that I haven't made the huge.
That's why I said you're an angel.
Mistake. So maybe because I haven't done that many deals. Both sides, right?
Yeah, maybe because
I'm very conservative buyer.
Yeah.
So I built a lot of
time.
cushion. So it took time for me to decide what to buy. And once I buy, I want to be able to just make money on day one. That's a safe investment for me to hold on in the long term, because I'm a buy and hold investor.
Yeah.
Once I bought it, I don't sell. Like, I will just keep it on.
Yeah. So you don't have any slap in the wrist that you can share with me in your journey of real estate, or everything is easy peasy right now?
Well, I will say, like, when you invest in passively, I have some deal that I invested in and they didn't turn out to perform like what they're supposed to be. So that's when I was like, you know what? I'm not going to give my money out as an LP anymore, limited partner, for that reason. Because, when you're not in the in the room.
It was a partnership with another community member?
Oh, no. It's outside sub 2. That was before I joined sub 2.
On the syndicate?
Yeah, syndication deal. So I parked like $50K in that deal. It's supposed to be returned back to me like at least twofold in like 3 years of exit. Now it's like year 5, and then,
money.
Yeah, it was at that point I was telling my husband, that's the money that, first of all, you never invest any money that you cannot afford to lose.
Willing to lose.
Yeah, willing to lose. So for me, it's like that was a resort deal right outside of in Colorado, in a really renowned like national park area. So it was, they got into this market when we were still in the heyday of Airbnb, everybody's traveling and all that stuff. And then so they underwrite the deal, even though very conservatively, but COVID happened, and all of a sudden, like, they start. Things change basically. So then
it happened to me. It happened to me different. I was buying 2 apartments and I do the deposit, but I don't get the finance in time.
Mm-hmm.
And a hurricane came,
Mm-hmm.
and I moved,
Mm-hmm.
and I supposed to recover my money because I don't want the permits anymore,
Right.
and that go to court and all the
Oh, your
all the
EMD goes hard. Did you lose
everything,
that?
and
Yeah.
then after that, I don't want to buy real estate after 7 years. That
Yeah.
because court paperwork, lawyers.
Mm-hmm.
Your first time
Right.
investing in real estate, it hit me like
Mm-hmm.
it was trouble. So
Yeah.
for me, doing these steps or enjoy to this community, take action, it take me time because I'm good in a lot of things,
Right.
but this I'm scared to have another, problem, issue, whatever.
Right.
So I'm very conservative like you,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to add like I don't go to university like you. I never work in a W-2,
Mm-hmm.
and
Ooh, you're entrepreneur.
yeah, exactly. Since
spirit,
19,
yeah.
what I learned is like for me because I don't go to college. I don't pay college. You pay college.
Mm-hmm.
I pay in my losses. That's
Mm-hmm.
my university. Every time I lost 7,000, 10,000, 20,000, and I don't have it back, that's my university.
Mm-hmm. You pay tuition one way or the other.
So that's how I learned. And it's more hard because life teach me to be a risk taker because that's the way I can grow. But in the same time, I have a lot of, because that's my university. Oh, I learned that
life lesson.
10,000 to learn that.
Yeah.
So that's what I'm looking in you. But you are more you are more smarter. You are not in a rush. You are thinking more in your legacy, and that's good because you are not like willing to lose time, lose money, and you are building a strong muscle, and that's gonna save you a lot of energy that I don't personally have because remember, we are very different.
Right.
So I'm very proud of your work. And what is your next step? What is your Mount Everest in the 5 years?
Right.
Where do you see yourself? And with that, we close.
Right. So I will continue to grow my co-living rental portfolio, but more in my backyard in Maryland, Northern Virginia side of the town. So I connect with a couple of different state-funded nonprofit agency as well. So I think that's a great market I want to continue to grow. I just need to be selective of the area I wanted to buy, and because I intend to hold those houses for a longer term, so it has to be in the right market, the right zip code,
Yeah.
the condition that can last for you. So I don't want to deal with a lot of old houses problem. Like a lot of houses built older, you have some unforeseen problems. So that's my buying criteria. Like nice neighborhood, bigger houses. I can
Do co-living.
do co-living to.
So no more
people.
multifamily.
No. That's my little valley.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
My Mount Everest is to get into bigger like mobile home park or apartment building that is 20 to 200 unit size. The mid-entry multifamily.
In that area too, in Maryland.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm looking at a couple of different states. So I will look at Pennsylvania, Maryland, Virginia, Tennessee, Kentucky, North Carolina, South Carolina. Basically,
East Coast, middle, in the middle.
Yeah, the selection is pretty funny because I have this mentality of like if I own something, I want to be able to take a road trip and take my kids to go tour the property that we own. So
yeah, that's beautiful.
Yeah, so that's something that we enjoy. Traveling with the kids, and now every time they say, "Hey, where's mommy going?" Oh, she's looking at the next property. Where's she doing? She's looking with some other investor friend. And then sometimes like I will come home and they would look at me, okay, mommy, did you see Pace? What did he say? Like
yeah, that's good. And you're a good mom. I can tell. And how you can impact the world with your knowledge.
So I started the podcast just recently. It's called Purpose-Driven Investment. In the end, I wanted to be a type of investor that I can, of course, generate profit, right? But it has to be a profit that with a spin of helping other people. It sounds cheesy, but
it's good.
But it's good. That give me the drive and momentum to keep on going. Because every now and then you kind of ask yourself that question, like, what am I doing this for? Like, is it just money or... But when you kind of turn it around, hey, I'm doing this in return. I'm actually trading my knowledge to create opportunity for other people who wouldn't have that opportunity. So they are kind of relying on me to go out and generate that opportunity. So that's how I kind of
that's the
encourage
idea.
myself to get out of bed and start doing something that made me very uncomfortable. And I know if I don't do it, it won't happen.
Another question, and you don't say that you want to quit yet.
Yes, I don't. So having a W-2, it's
Okay.
in my current journey, it's the best.
So it's not in your 5-year goal.
Well,
quit.
I hope that to get to the point that I can generate enough rental cash flow or portfolio on the side that I can, start retiring my husband first.
Then,
he's doing part-time and then me. And then, so we get to, go on just managing our portfolio and grow from there.
But it's there.
Yeah, it's there.
It's there.
I would say in the next 5 years, 5 to 10 years, you can see where it goes, right? Until then, I still work. I set aside my time after work to do this, and then the monthly income that brought me, also offer our family security and allowed me to make bigger mistakes. Because if I screw up and lost a few $1,000s, I know okay, that sucks, but I learned something, and then in a few months, and it's gonna fill that hole, and I will be able to come back. Yeah,
I'm very amazing of your job, amazing for your journey. Thank you for doing this for me. I wish you the best of the best. You're a great woman, a great person, and thank you.
You're very welcome. Thank you for having me.